Like you got to break out of that fear. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Don't allow fear to stop you. Fear, if you allow it, fear will take over your emotions
mm.
and you'll never get nowhere in life.
Yo, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Legacy Mindset, episode number 5. Your host E and Rob, E and R. We back with another one. Let's go.
Let's go. ER in the house. What's going on, son in love?
Not much. We about to get into a good topic today. We're gonna be talking about fear and how that shows up in your investing. You know, what is fear in general? You know, we're gonna talk about how to overcome fear and how that correlates to our framework, the legacy mindset, and everyday life and building wealth, building health, and building your future. What is fear and why people are so held down by fear when it comes in their life to investing, building wealth, and how can they overcome that?
Yeah, so you already know, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a definition man.
Yeah.
And so, unpleasant emotion, if you will, caused by a belief that someone or something is doing something dangerous or something like that to you, causing
Yeah.
pain or terror or frighten, horror, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Panic,
Right.
sudden uncomfortableness. So with that being said, what's your definition? What definition are you, going with?
So I would say fear, when it comes up and shows up in your life, is that emotion that makes you stop, makes you tremble, and makes you fear freeze up. I think fear. A lot of people is letting fear overtake their lives when it comes to starting that business, building their wealth. People let fear get the best of them all the time. You know, it's crazy how they think about a certain situation or their their path that they want to go on, but then they think about the bad things, and it turns out what's stopping them from reaching their goals is just fear.
So with this fear, and I got this from my wife some years ago,
Right.
and that fear is false evidence appearing real. See, because it's a state of mind thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you when you look at something, like let's take for instance the stock market, crypto, and the media. Media always want to paint the picture of something bad going on, but the more and more you get off into crypto stocks or whatever, it's like you got to learn to realize that everything that the media is hollering is bad really turns out to be good
Yeah.
for the stock market, for crypto. You just got to have that long-term mindset and not allow the FUD, you know what I'm saying? That's that fear of uncertainty and doubt. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really uh be disciplined when it comes to something like this. And I know we talked about that discipline on the last
Yeah.
podcast, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, or should I say the last episode of Legacy Mindset. Oh, by the way, I forgot.
Yeah.
It slipped my mind. Hey, like and subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, that little bell icon, that way you be notified if you hit all every single time we put out content.
Right.
Man, I let that thing slip my mind. I know
Yeah. Gotta let them know.
I'm right. Gotta let
Yeah,
them
and if
know.
you want to
We
learn
appreciate.
about more in discipline, since you brought it up, our last video, episode number 4, we talked about discipline and how that plays into your life and building your wealth, investing, and in your life in general. So go check out that video. I'll put it up on screen, and if you want to go check it out, help you build that discipline, self control, build good habits, go check out that video.
Yeah, yeah. So, once again, on the last episode, we talked about discipline. And so you got to have that discipline because you train yourself for the fear that's either taking place or getting ready to come
Mm.
as far as what it is you set out to do. Because once you figure out your why, man, I'm telling you, it's very important that you work on the discipline, because in the discipline, you better believe that fear will try to kick in or ease in. And see that fear right there, it don't matter what you're doing, whether you're in the stock market, crypto, in life, with your family, on the going to apply for a job. It's like, man, it don't go nowhere. It's everywhere. It tried to mimic, let I want to say God, because God is all knowing everywhere. And it seemed like fear, everywhere you go, fear can be right there. You just gotta conquer it. You know what I'm saying? You in your mind. Because that's all it is. False evidence appearing real in your mind. So it don't matter like what you see or what you feel. You have to really navigate through that thing so you can go ahead and be, as I would say, blessed and successful in whatever it is you setting out to do in life.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you went into how to overcome that fear. You know, one of the tools that I use and what you was alluding to is God. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
God said He don't give us the spirit of fear, but the power of love and a sound mind.
There you
I got it
go.
right this time. I got it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, but He don't give you that. I mean, fear. That fear comes from you being scared. From the devil, and he trying to stop you from reaching your blessings. You know what I'm saying? So if you have your belief in God and you let God lead your life and let Him guide you through life, you will realize when you are fearful, you need to snuff out that fear and go do what God set out for you to do. I think people gotta start realizing when they're being fearful and realizing the effects of fear plays in their life, and building wealth. You know, I remember when I was first, trying to start businesses and stuff. The first thing I was scared of and fearful of was just starting an LLC. It
Hmm.
was a simple task of just starting an LLC that made me scared, and realizing that, you know, the underbelly of my fear was, failing. Like I don't want to take the step of starting this LLC and then failing. But then I
Right.
realized I can't get nowhere in life being immobilized by fear. I gotta, you know, pull up my bootstraps, believe in God and His word and His discipline, and go out there and be great for myself, and just take the first step of starting that LLC, trying to be great and start a business, and go do what God put in my spirit to go do. So he God will give you many avenues of ideas, but guess what creeps in when you thinking about those ideas is fear. And it's
Hmm.
like you gotta find some type of way to get over that. Reading your word, saying giving yourself some motivation every day, or just, you know, find something that get you over that fear, that hurdle of fear. And I think, people, it'll serve them well just to eliminate that fear, and then go back to building discipline and habits, encouragement. And I think that'd be good for people.
Overall, when you look at that fear, it's like, it's definitely like it's unpleasant, and it's caused by someone or something, you
Yeah.
see. So when you think about it, the uncomfortableness, the unpleasantness, is those words there are emotions that God has blessed us to have.
Yeah.
So, therefore, going back into training yourself,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to manage those emotions. Because if you can't manage your emotions, how can you manage being in the stock market? You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? How can you manage being in crypto? How can you manage your children in life? How can you manage, raising children and being on the job and working, paying bills? There are emotions that God has blessed us with that we got to learn how to manage them. Because
right.
if we don't, everything is in disarray. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? Your
yeah.
life, your whole life.
Yeah, that's true. People want safety. People want
Yeah,
that, comfort blanket. You know what I'm saying? That it'll cause them to stay in the house, not go out and make that connection. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to sales, it'll cause them not to reach out, market, because they have that, self doubt and fearful of what people are going to say about them. But they just got to figure out some type of way to get over that fear, because once they do, it'll turn out to be something beneficial for them. They're going to learn something new. They're going to do something that they thought they couldn't do. Like, you got to break out of that fear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
right. But not let me ask, not who don't want to be comfortable. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Who
Yeah.
don't want to be in a position or a place to where it's like, your stress levels are is either 0 to 5 or something like that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Or just like your life is just like everything going the way you want it to go. And so again, this stuff here every day, because people gonna be people regardless. It
Yeah.
don't matter. Everywhere you go, it's gonna be somebody, sad to say, that's that's gonna rub you the wrong way
Yeah.
or say something, out of whack and make you feel like, oh, I'm about to get at you or whatever. But once again, trust, faith, and confidence. You know what I'm saying? Fear will disturb that. And not only that, but fear will also knock on your door and let you know, hey, who you believing in? You
Right.
believing in God or are you believing in Satan? Because Satan is like the author of fear, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because once again, you just said it. God does not give us a spirit of fear, and that's in the word as it is written. So
Exactly.
now, when it knocks on your door and you fall subject to fear instead of what God said,
Right.
what you think you're gonna get?
Yeah. You falling off the path. If you succumb into fear, that ain't of God. That's of devil. You know what I'm saying? That's of Satan. So you got to walk that path of encouragement, build up. Like, I'm gonna go start this business. I'm gonna go build
In
this
spite of,
wealth. I'm gonna go put $5, $10, $20, whatever it is that I got in investing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna be scared, because what they say: scared money don't make no money.
exactly, exactly.
But so I guess that leads us to the other question, like, how does fear show up in money and investing? You want to, touch on that about stock
Yeah,
market, crypto,
yeah,
like all this FUD that's going out
right.
there. Like, just people manipulating other people, making them scared and making them lose their money. So I guess, run with that.
Well, I mean, from my experience, ever since I've been involved in the stock market and in crypto, once again, media is big. So you definitely got to be careful of who you listening to, what you're listening to, because it's out here. The FUD is out here. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make you doubt. It's gonna make you fearful. It's gonna make you scared. And once again, I I really go about these things with what I feel God put in my spirit, because I'm telling you, with the wars, the social media talking about the wars, talking about inflation, you got the news broadcasters,
Yeah.
they all in it. They making their money. Believe it or not, they making their money in the stock market and in crypto. And the more that they keep us as retail investors fearful of getting in or making the mistakes that causes you to lose money, guess who you losing it to? You losing it to them
Mm.
because they know what to do. They in that. They the ones spreading the FUD and the fear.
Right.
Like, okay, we got you. So a good way of avoiding that is to, man, take it with a grain of salt, so to speak,
Yeah.
because you got to do what you feel is best for you and your family. Now
Right.
you pay attention, you do your due diligence, you do your homework, you invest in the right companies, you invest in the right coins that have use cases, good communities around them. I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So how do you how would you tell the people, you know, how to navigate through all the fear?
When it comes to investing, I would say how to navigate through the fear is doing your research, like you said, knowing what company their fundamentals are, like what they're spending their money on, what cryptos out there that is building infrastructure. And I think that's one of the things with crypto versus stock market is that the value in the crypto space is more on the infrastructure and how they building up the financial system and different investment vehicles. And then in the stock market, it's the value in the company and how they're building that value into the world. So when it comes to like the stock market, doing your research on, um, you know, what they're spending their money on, what their mission is, and how that's going to impact the world. Because all the big companies out there, Nvidia, Google, all the ServiceNow, all these big name companies are affecting the world in some type of way. And if you're thinking long term, you want to think about what it is that you want to get into that it's going to last into the future. So like, Nvidia, and then SpaceX is another one coming out.
Yeah,
You just put it
yeah,
out there the other day, you know what I'm saying, that SpaceX is going to be coming out with an IPO soon, right? So
yeah,
that is the future. SpaceX is the future, and then you want to put your money into those companies that are going to last into the future. Now
right.
when it comes to stock, or when it comes to crypto, what are those protocols? There's a lot of protocols being made. You know, um, you
Hmm.
know, the web browser that we use and the podcast that we're using right now, we're running off a HTTPS protocol or a RTSP protocol streaming. Crypto is a lot about protocols and how to move money into different areas and sectors and finances. So if people are building their smart contracts and businesses in crypto, then you want to know what is their foundation that they're serving for the people. So I think the way to overcome fear, go back to that question, is understanding, getting the knowledge, and being convicted. Having that conviction. Having the conviction of I know the company, I know what they stand for, and I know what their mission is, and that will help you dispel fear when you putting in your money. If you
Right.
putting in $5, $10, or $100, or 10,000, 100,000, or a million into a company, you need to know everything they're about. So I think that helps with fear, and then you block out the noise.
It's a lot of people out here dealing with it.
Yeah,
That's for sure. I mean, so to the point where they don't even want to get in the market.
yeah.
And I mean, I don't mean to sound like like mean or nothing like that, but for
Look,
everybody
say
who
it. Go
don't
ahead.
get
Go
in,
ahead and say
for
it.
everybody that don't get in, that's both for us.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
I mean, we talk about FOMO. I
Yeah.
think that is a kind of a good fear when it comes to
Fear of missing out.
starting.
Fear of
Yeah.
missing out.
Yeah. Fear of missing out. I think that's if you have that, that should compel you to like start doing your research, getting into
Right.
crypto, getting into the stock market, and learning. You know what I'm saying? And I think, just to kind of step back and pull the horses, like I have like a lot of people ask me when we gonna start talking about crypto more in depth, like how to invest, how to build our wealth and business and stuff. And I think, what I keep telling them is that we starting off with the foundation,
Right.
managing your emotions, managing your
Yeah.
fear, self discipline, self control. I
Right.
guess speak on that a little bit of why we want to build this framework first before we start diving deep, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's because it's so many YouTube content makers out here. I mean, social media, period, to where and I'm gonna be honest with you, I thank God I don't have them all. Like I deal with YouTube, I don't have X and Facebook and stuff, which eventually me and the wife plan on getting on one of these other platforms for the business and everything. But I say it's important because man, you can lose a lot of money doing this, following the wrong people, trying to execute their trades, do what they do, how they do it. I mean, just because their strategy is working for them,
Yeah.
you may come along and follow, but you gotta really pay attention, and you should know a lot about these companies that they got you following them, investing your hard-earned money in, because the as soon as you make a mistake, you may have misunderstood something or heard something the wrong way and put 5-10,000 in something and you lose it all. Who you gonna be mad at?
Right.
You should be mad at yourself, but of course you'll be mad at the content maker, because the content maker, you like, man, you making all this money, you bragging, you talking about. That's why I try to stay away from talking numbers. Like
Right.
you can go on here every day and say, oh, I made this much today, I made that much. Follow me. I had somebody over on Transparent Living ask me, can I help them make money? And the best way that I can answer that is, only thing I can do is lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any questions, I can answer them the best I can. And if I don't have the answer, we can find that answer together,
Right.
because it's important that this foundation like this be laid, like we landed on legacy mindset, man. Because I'm telling you, we're not here to grab somebody by the hand and stock by stock, crypto by crypto. You just follow what we do and make money or not make money. You got to have patience and all this type of stuff in it. So if you don't, you may be somebody who got to work on patience. You may be somebody who got to work on discipline. You may be somebody who's extremely fearful. We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Unless we know you personally. So the foundation is being laid. And as the foundation be laid, we can grow into more of showing the people,
Right.
like, hey, look, this is that. But we not going, you know what I'm saying? It's sort of a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
This is what I would say. You can say what you would say, but at the same time, we don't really want to give you the straight up answers to the test, because of the simple fact, you know what I'm saying? My test is different from your test.
Right. Ooh, that's good.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody got their own journey and their own test that they got to go through in life, investing, building wealth. And I think that was perfect, spot on. I'm going to build this journal to help,
Right,
people to, write down their thoughts, reflect, and try to build this legacy mindset to help them in their life. And then that'll
right,
translate into their investing in general. So you said it right, just right now, that we can give you the knowledge and show you the numbers and how to execute a trade, but those trades has another component, which is discipline. Go check out the other video. Fear, controlling your emotions, and the biggest one, training your habits, your everyday life to understand that, to block out the noise and focus on the signal. And if they don't understand the psychology of the market and how that plays into crypto and investing, they're gonna be taken advantage of. They're gonna
Right.
be listening to the news. They're gonna be listening to YouTubers out there that is spreading this FUD. They're gonna be listening to their cousins who got negative opinions. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the power of having the legacy mindset of knowing that you building a foundation on managing yourself,
Right.
knowing what you're capable of, and then going out setting into the crypto market and stock market or whatever business adventure you want to go to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll even add this to it. Now, this is just a little bit
Mm.
of getting your portion.
Yeah.
Now, think about it. In the stock market, you look around your house and you see what products you use the most, and then you go find out if they have a ticker symbol or a stock on in the market, and you roll with it. You look more into that company, say for example Nike's or GE, something like that, because your refrigerator is GE. You look for that
Yeah.
because it's in a lot of people's households. A lot of people walking around with Nikes on. So you look into those companies, see how long they've been around, you keep up with the news on them and find out, where they going uh in the following years to come or whatnot. If you don't see nothing, hey, find something else. But for the most part, that's doing your due diligence, that's doing your homework. And when it come to crypto, hey, what is everybody talking about? You hear Bitcoin, you hear Litecoin, you hear XRP, and I'll be honest with you, even though Dogecoin is a meme coin, you do your due diligence. Is it any type of use case for Dogecoin? Who may be utilizing Dogecoin for accepting it for a payment or building a treasury with it?
Mm-hmm.
You have to. These are the little nuggets that you pay attention to.
Right.
Don't listen to it because there's a lot of people too going. They go just like in the stock market, in crypto. They're gonna say, "Hey, look here, hey, Bitcoin, people using it, dope dealers using it to move money and all that." Man, look, I'm gonna tell you now. Get your portion, get your bags. Make sure you doing your homework because there's gonna be bad actors in everything you do. And when it come to crypto, I say this is a second in a lifetime opportunity to build generational wealth.
What do you want to say to that person out there that has fear and is immobilizing them to not go out and do what they want to do? What does he want to say to them to get them encouraged to start that business, start investing in crypto, start investing in stocks, building their wealth, allocating their money into assets for their future? What is it that you want to say to them?
I guess I would say it no matter what it feel like, no matter what it look like in life, period. Even though you feel fear, you have to think about it from a mind, from a let's say legacy mindset perspective. Let's say that because you have to know that it's your emotions that's getting the best of you. So when you tap in mentally and you thinking about, you know, that legacy that you want to build, when you think about that that I want to say that family tree, you know what I'm saying? That you want to change your family tree or be a part of changing your family tree or something like that. Don't allow fear to stop you. You may feel it, you know what I'm saying? But know that emotions have to be managed because
Mm,
that's all fear is. Fear bothers your emotions. Fear, if you allow it, fear will take over your emotions
mm,
and you'll never get nowhere in life.
mm.
So learn how to manage your emotions and not allow fear, man, and not allow fear to take control of the steering wheel. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, if you allow it, it'll drive you anywhere.
Oh man. Look, you don't want to let fear drive you off a cliff.
Right.
Man,
Right.
that's good. And I'll answer that question too. Like you was telling it, like, you know, the reason why I'm so passionate about this channel and, it is a lot of people out there, a lot of people out there that is just living their life in fear and is stopping them from doing anything and everything in life. It's like, they know it is to be great in their life. They know it's that it's going to help them in life, but they just keep hitting the brakes. To go with your analogy with the car, they keep hitting the brakes and stopping and letting everybody pass by.
Yep.
Life is just passing by, and they just sitting in the car waiting until they can hit that gas pedal and go. I would say to anybody out there that has fear, hit the gas pedal, go.
Right.
Let God direct you. Let God take control of the steering wheel. Just hit the gas pedal and just go out and do what it is that you want to do. Like if it's investing, start putting your money into stocks that you know. If you like shoes, put it into Nike. If you like Jordans, you know what I'm saying, put it into Nike. If you like cars, get some Tesla stock.
Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla is big. Get some Tesla stock. You know what I'm saying? Do your due diligence, be great, and go out there and stop being held back by fear. So this has been, episode number 5. This is the foundation of legacy mindset. We promise we're going to get into the technicals, money wise of how to invest, where to buy, what to buy. But we want to give you the foundation to help to manage this emotion, because the market is psychology, the crypto market, building businesses. Everything is about controlling your emotions, your discipline, self-control, and training yourself up for good habits to help you in the long run in the future. So, episode number 5, if you want to check out discipline, the link will be in the description for our episode number 4 about discipline.
Well, when it comes to YouTube,
yeah,
if they don't know, then they should know, like when they go in on Legacy Mindset page, that it has a section for shorts, a section for the videos. So, like, really be honest with you, you mentioned putting the link in. All they have to do is go in the channel. If they are subscribers, you can go in and you can click videos and you can see all the videos that have been made so far, and just click on. If you haven't watched any of them, I suggest you watch them all now, because they good.
They're good. Yeah. Look, go ahead, get that legacy mindset, people.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. All right. With that being said,
take it in.
All right. Legacy mindset, the way of life, the way of living. We out. Peace.
We out. Yeah.